Yo, it's us. Hi. You might notice that your favorite friends, Wiz and Boomstick, aren't in the show that they should be in, but sadly they're both very sick today, so we are letting them rest up and feel better. And so you got me, Sam Mitchell, and you also got this guy.
Me, Nick Kramer. And you also got...
That way,
me, Liam Swan. And you also got...
Me, Danny Shepard. And then you also got...
it's reversed.
We did it, but yeah. Hey, Danny.
No, we got to do it again. We have to do the entire cycle again if it.
No, we're not. Danny, it's
wanted
nice
to
to
do
have
it
you
too,
join
guys.
us.
Thank you.
Yeah, we haven't seen you in a while since the last time we did Winter Soldier
versus Red Hood.
Red Hood, thank
That's
you.
right.
It's like it's Red Mask. That's not right. Like, yeah,
Red Mask, Black Hood.
Yeah, how's life been for you over there in the old Las Vegases?
You know, it's been good. Aside from not having a lot to do over the last year, live action filmmaking has been a bit slow, but it's really dope because things are starting to ramp up. You know, as things are starting to the dust is kind of settling over the last couple of months or whatever. Stuff's starting to open back up, and so we're getting real busy. So hey, maybe there'll be another live action death battle one of these days. I don't know. Bug Ben about it.
Wink, wink,
We're always
nudge,
looking for a
nudge.
chance. Yeah, we're always interested. I think it's always just kind of about finding like the coolest matchup that would work the best, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like for example, today's community death battle, Krillin versus Aquaman. Maybe not one we do in live action
for live action.
I don't know about
it will
that.
be real expensive, but we can do it.
I think Krillin Aquaman is perfect for a VFX team. That's what it's perfect for, because they're going to be doing the bulk of this work. But yeah, as a community death battle, though, it is absolutely fantastic, and I'm excited to get into it because we've done a fair bit of like DBZ versus DC before, but I feel like this one is extra special because it's two people that don't get the credit they really should in their own universes. Like everybody kind of trash talks Krillin, but Krillin is amazing. And like, yeah, he's not Goku, sure, but he's still the strongest human in the universe, right? And like,
being not Goku is still really, really impressive.
Yeah, right.
The bar is high.
Yeah.
And Aquaman is like just the one everybody loves to hate. I mean, mainly because of the old adventure cartoons and stuff. I feel like Jason Momoa gave him a much needed like revitalization, and now people are like into Injustice games and stuff. But now people are like, really funny. Aquaman's cool. He has sharks.
Yeah.
Like, but
it's really funny seeing the comics like in the 80s and 90s like take a very concerted effort in trying to make Aquaman really badass. Like they lean super hard into it. They give him long hair and like a beard, and then he gets his hand cut off.
Yeah,
but then
that's the iteration I was thinking of.
Yeah, and he's all gritty and raw, and the fish rip people apart. It's hilarious.
Yeah, they worked really hard to make him not okay. Now I also just noticed, Nick, you have your burb now, who's newest cast member.
I have a what?
A burb.
I don't.
That's the official title.
I don't see what? I don't see anything.
I don't see anything either.
Well,
Sam.
then we'll just move on. Liam, you're supposed to start our argument today for Aquaman. You're the one arguing Aquaman.
That's right. I am the one arguing Aquaman.
Do you want to get into this? Do you feel ready for this?
My body is ready. Let's get into this. Let's do it. Let's argue.
There's
all
your
right.
60 seconds.
Let's go. So, I think the key difference in a fight between Krillin and Aquaman comes down to why they are underappreciated, why they are considered lame. Krillin is underappreciated and lame in his universe because he can't keep up with the rest of his cast, with the higher-ups, right? He's not going to keep up with a Goku, he's not going to keep up with a Gohan, he's probably not even going to keep up with a Piccolo, right? With he's powerful on his own, but he's not going to keep up with them. Aquaman, on the other hand, is lame because he, looks lame. He has an orange shirt, he talks to fish, he's, lame in concept. But he does keep up with the rest of the Justice League. He is as powerful as them. He is just as important a member of the team as them. And he has a ton more abilities than Krillin does. He's much more varied. He's much more powerful. And I think he would win. In fact, I think he would Aquaman handle him.
Oh, you even got the pun in there. Wow. Okay. All right.
Aquaman handle. I don't know how I can argue with that.
I woke up in a start at 3 a.m. being like, oh, Aquaman handle. Gonna write that down.
That's your whole dream journal, just Aquaman handle.
Yeah. I write down stupid death battle puns in my dream journal, and then they come.
Man, some say that puns are the highest form of comedy. Some would say.
A lot of people would also say it's the lowest too. I feel we got both sides of that argument here. Luckily, Death Battle certainly agrees. They're top tier at least.
Yeah.
But I'm not entirely convinced. Danny, you said you wanted to tell us about your boy Krillin.
Yeah.
Feeling ready for this 60-second rundown?
I am so ready. All right. So, is there a timer or anything?
Yeah,
or am I just
going right now?
Go for it.
I'm going. Okay, I'm burning minutes. All right. So here's the thing. I am basing my entire argument strictly off of one single moment that happened, and that moment is the Destructo disc cutting off Frieza's tail. Part of Frieza. Man, it's been a minute.
Yeah,
but
his tail.
Frieza's tail. Yeah.
Frieza's tail, and Frieza is a planet-destroying level character, which is pretty high. I mean, obviously Aquaman is really strong, but can he destroy a planet? I don't know. But Krillin, however, I'm sure the comments are like blah 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 blah, but that Destructo disc cut off Frieza's tail. If it landed, it could have ended up taking Frieza out. I mean, even though he kind of did his own little Destructo disc and cut himself in half later in that arc, but still, I think that Krillin has some techniques that are so powerful that it would overwhelm Aquaman. Aquaman also can't fly. Krillin can fly.
I think we're out of time here.
Okay, we're out of time. Well, that's it, guys.
Points very much validly made.
Yeah, I think Krillin flying is a pretty significant one. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I think Krillin flying and how fast they are in DBZ, how fast they move, is probably going to be two big talking points on this one. Because I mean, I guess like Aquaman kind of keeps up with some of the bigger he's never like racing the Flash or anything, right? Like
he does not race the Flash. Fast. But again, in the same way that that matching Goku would be a high bar, I would also argue that racing the Flash is a high bar. That does not necessarily make Aquaman unimpressive for not keeping up with the Flash.
Totally not.
Flight is a big advantage, right? Krillin gets to fly away and like pelt Aquaman with key attacks, right? It might even make you think that Krillin has the range advantage in this fight. But what if I were to tell you that Aquaman, in fact, has the range advantage? And that
Go on.
is from his most devastating ability, his telepathy. Not a lot of people know Aquaman is one of the Earth's most powerful telepaths. And they don't know that because he usually just uses it to talk to fish and be like, hey, can you help me out? Hey, can you give me some money? And then the dolphin will give him money. But in fact, he can apply it to humans too. Not only humans, he can apply it to every living thing on Earth at the same time. He was once in a psychic battle. Yeah.
When you say telepathy, what does that entail? Like sending messages or like
sending
mind
messages,
control?
Mental attacks like giving people migraines, mind control, shutting them down. He was once able to reach the entire planet at the same time and give everyone a splitting headache. He once focused his psychic energy onto this enemy so hard that he wanted to kill himself rather than deal with the psychic agony that he was
Who is that enemy, though?
I don't know.
Is he trained by Master Roshi and martial arts and stuff? Because I imagine
I don't think that Master Roshi... I don't think carrying milk cartons up a mountain really helps you in psychic defenses, personally. But maybe there could be an argument.
There we go.
We'll say we actually know that Krillin is vulnerable to telepathy, or he has no resistance to telepathic communication, because of the time that Goku put his little hand on Krillin's head and read his mind. So, if anything, I'm saying there's no evidence.
Is that not an outlier, though? I mean, when has Goku done that a second time? That was like the weirdest, like.
I'm just saying it's not necessary because I don't think there's anything suggesting that Krillin can defend against a mental attack. Anyways, but that would be in the pro column rather than nothing in the negative column.
I don't know.
Now, take me very seriously right now. Take me very seriously when I ask this question.
Yes.
Is Aquaman really going to go for that first, or is he going to go for some water aquatic creature based attack first?
Well, it depends on when they're fighting. But yeah, he has started off fights with mental attacks before. And if he takes Krillin seriously, if he thinks that Krillin is a serious threat, and if he notices that Krillin is using his range advantage with flight, he could just reach out and go, actually no. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I feel like, or I assumed anyway, I'm not the Aquaman master here. I just assumed that he would probably open up with some like water-based attack or like throwing his trident at him or something. Jinjo, this is his name. Jinjo's telling you what's what. He knows about Aquaman.
Whoa, Jinjo.
He's 3 months old.
Whoa.
He knows that.
Oh, right. Jinjo,
Jinjo's like, listen,
really like
Krillin would win, all right? Because
Jinjo, I also heard him say that.
I think he's on the Krillin side. Because you say, like, the Goku mind read thing. Hey, that's like mind reading, and that's somebody he knows, and that is also, like, a really weird outlier.
I get it.
I'm pretty sure during all the Majin stuff, don't a lot of them, like, demonstrate that they're at least have some resistance to that sort of, like, mental attack?
Yeah, like Vegeta only went Majin because he allowed himself to. From what I remember, it's been a long time since I've watched.
Yeah, but like average people couldn't. Like,
Krillin's above average though. So
Krillin is the strongest human. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. It's just Jinjo. Don't worry. His opinions don't matter right now.
You'd think we'd be used to talking over each other by this point, but. Krillin is the strongest human on Earth, maybe next to Tien. But Tien, he might be tougher than Tien after Super. Someone correct me if I'm wrong here. And I think that in itself is like an incredibly impressive feat in itself, that he is literally able to stand amongst the same level as people. I mean, like, obviously, Goku and Gohan and the Saiyans, they're like a completely different species of being, right? But Krillin was able to like train and push his body and his mind and his abilities to a level that at the very least is like, and then you have your frame of reference because you have like Mr. Satan and you have Yamcha, who are also humans, who are just nowhere even near the same league as Krillin. I still go back to the Destructo Disc because if he lands a shot, he'll cut Aquaman right in half. Just right, because if he can chop Frieza in half, and Frieza's like Planet Buster level strength, then why couldn't the Destructo Disc do the same kind of damage to Aquaman? Like, Aquaman's durable, he's super durable, but is he that durable? He lost his hand after all, remember, in the 90s.
Further bolstering what you're saying here, Danny, in Dragon Ball Super, when Frieza comes back, it's explicitly stated in so many words that Krillin, at that point in the story, if he was fighting Frieza from Dragon Ball Z, like, he would have been strong enough to beat Frieza then and there, because of how much Krillin had been keeping up with his training and all that.
Yeah,
it's just that Frieza in the Dragon Ball Super had also gotten stronger, so it all balanced out that way. But if you took Dragon Ball Super Krillin and put him into Dragon Ball Z Krillin would have been the MVP of the show.
Yeah,
right, because of the increasing power scale. But here's the thing: the question was, can Krillin cut through Aquaman? Because Krillin is a Planet Buster, right? He could cut through Planet Busters. But Justice League members, even like the lower tier ones like Aquaman isn't going to beat Superman in a fight, but he is going to be competitive with someone like Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter. And they're way beyond Planet Busters. Like, they have planet busting feats, but they also have star busting feats. They've survived supernovas before. Hell, they've survived attacks from people that can destroy the universe. They're really, really powerful. I don't think that Aquaman would necessarily have trouble with a Destructo Disc. He's also kept up with Wonder Woman in fights, and Wonder Woman is really, 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 really fast enough to like deflect particles that were traveling across the universe in like a minute. So I don't think Aquaman, even if he wasn't durable enough to take the Destructo Disc, he'd ever be hit. He would just dodge it. And if he felt concerned by it, he could just give Krillin like a seizure, which he did to a white Martian, beings that have powerful psychic abilities like himself.
That's pretty OP, actually.
That's pretty cool. I do think we're maybe overemphasizing the Destructo Disc. Like, it is Krillin's like most identifiable move and all that sort of thing, but the dude can himself travel, I assume, I am just assuming here, but faster than a Destructo Disc. Do you have to do this every time I talk?
I mean, also,
yes, he does.
Can't Krillin do the instant transmission?
No, I think that's just a Goku only thing.
He
Krillin
learned it
can
from
move really friggin' fast, like faster than the human eye. So it basically looks like teleportation, but it's not true teleportation. It's just traveling point A to point B super duper fast.
It looks like teleportation to regular humans.
Why is Goku like the only person that can do that?
Because when he didn't die from Namek exploding, he's the only one who landed on that planet of aliens that taught him how to do it, and only him.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Goku gets all the cool shit. Nobody else. Gets
and
anything.
Gohan can do it. Apparently.
No.
Any?
Only Goku and Cell.
And you need to go. You go change the fan wiki then, because the fan wiki saying Gohan and Piccolo got it too.
Oh, did they? Okay, maybe that's a super thing, perhaps.
Could be.
Or in the manga?
They're just like, yeah, let's give them probably some like.
The manga definitely goes a little weirder with all of it. So
yeah,
there's somebody said there, but yeah, they take some liberties in the manga for sure and do some things like Master Roshi goes like whatever Ultra Instinct in the manga, which is a little odd.
It's kind of like,
but
I don't think you could do that.
So, I still think, like, Krillin, I get your argument for the mind thing, right? But putting that aside, putting, like, a mental assault aside.
Okay.
And even with Arthur's speed and all that, Krillin is really good. Like, what he does, because he knows he's not the strongest, is always figures out people's weaknesses and how to, like, trick them or catch them up.
Yeah.
And I think he would just blind them, because I don't think... Like, especially out of water, Aquaman has a lot to do once he's blind.
Well, interesting you should say that.
Okay.
This is Aquaman at one point was blind. I don't know for how many issues, but there was a point in his history where he was blind. And he actually started to fight while blind. And he realized that he had been unconsciously using his telepathy in the past to predict people's movements before he made them. So
that's interesting.
He was able to fight blind using telepathy. Yes. Yeah.
So is
give a character
like a fucking spider sense?
So, but like,
kinda. I mean, I think he's like reading their intentions. Like he's like passively, like kind of reaching out to their minds and being like, okay, I feel that this guy is about to punch me with a left hook, so I'm going to dodge, and then that's what happens.
But like, do you think that he can just tap into that like in the moment? Because you could have I don't know, I just feel like after probably a few minutes of fighting Aquaman, like Krillin would develop a strategy, like mid strategy, hit him with a solar flare, and then zip to the other side, and then toss a couple Destructo discs and see what happens. You know what I mean? Like how quickly will Aquaman adapt to like a giant flash of light in his eyes? Like, will he instantly be able to be like, oh, I know you're coming from this direction? Or is that going to catch him off guard a bit?
I think the fact that he has like this big speed advantage on Krillin would give him like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like I'm completely blanking on the word, but like essentially a leg up in terms of like if Krillin is like, if his strategy relies on like tripping Aquaman up or catching him off guard or being like making events happen to Aquaman faster than Aquaman can react, essentially, Aquaman's speed advantage would nullify that, right? Because if he's so much faster than Krillin like zipping to the side and like preparing a Destructo Disc really fast to Krillin, but to Aquaman would be like moving in slow motion. So I think that would give him like a head start. That speed advantage would give him a head start in terms of like reacting to the light flashing in his eyes and then being like, okay, reach out with telepathy. The telepathy thing also happens passively. That's how he discovered it. So it wouldn't it would be something that is basically already happening, that he would just kind of like lean more into. And I don't want to sell Aquaman's like physical capabilities short either. Like, he's been able to hurt Martian Manhunter and Wonder Woman, and his trident can even like pierce Darkseid's like eye. I know it's his eye, but it's still like it's still Darkseid's. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So I think if he got in close, he could just go with the trident, like with Frieza again with his horn.
Hey. Today's podcast is brought to you by BetterHelp Online Therapy. You know what therapy is? It's like a healthy diet and going to the gym wrapped up in one for your mental health. You know, you eat well and you go to gyms and do exercise and stuff for your physical health, and you do therapy for some mental health, right? And even if you don't think you might need it, it's still a pretty good idea. I personally think that just about everybody in the world should probably go to therapy every now and then and just talk about their feelings and stuff, because we all have something we deal with, whether it's temper or mountains of stress or anxiety or depression or PTSD or whatever. Everyone's got a thing that a portion of their mental health that I guarantee you could work on, and you could make your life better by doing so. So think about using BetterHelp. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to be on camera in front of anyone while you're working through that kind of stuff. And it's much more affordable than the traditional in-person therapy, and you can get started communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours, so it's super fast to set up and get ready and start going, right? Join the millions of people who are seeing what therapy is all really about. It's always a good time to invest in yourself, because you're your greatest asset. So, this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Death Battlecast listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/deathbattlecast. That's BETTERHELP, BETTERHELP.com/cast. Go check it out, get that 10% off, and, invest in yourself.
I just feel like I can't see Aquaman getting too close to Krillin with Krillin's ability. Like, Krillin has he has the aerial advantage for sure, because he can literally zip around. He can be in the sky, literally throwing ki blasts and whatever from any direction. So I mean, like Aquaman would really have to. I mean, if the mental attacks are strong enough to kind of affect Krillin and get him down to that level. Otherwise, I mean, if Aquaman gets him in water, then he's in big ass trouble. Big trouble. Yeah. Big trouble.
Yeah. Well, I think that the telepathy could. I think that, like, even if you want to go, okay, it wouldn't kill Krillin. I think that it would give him enough of a headache. I mean, you can give a white Martian a seizure, right? So if you give him enough of a headache to ground him, even if he didn't, Aquaman could just like jump at him, right? Like a bullet, like fire himself off the ground like a bullet with his powerful leg muscles, and like tackle Krillin midair.
What planet are they fighting on? Earth, probably. I mean, yeah. If they happen to find themselves on Mars, I'm just saying, maybe there's not enough water there. Maybe that evens the playing field a little bit more.
Well, yeah, give Aquaman. They just fight in the middle of space. Well, I feel
like
Krillin on Mars.
Krillin needs oxygen too, right? Like, that's not helping our boy at all.
But like, what doesn't Aquaman need to breathe something?
Yeah, I mean, I think they would both be fucked over pretty hard if they went to Mars.
On Mars.
Who could hold their breath longest?
I'm sure I can Google Aquaman spacesuit and see if he's ever been. Like, there's got to be a time he goes to space, right?
Oh, yeah.
Aquaman in space.
I could probably.
About the mental attacks, though.
Yes.
Okay, so if we're kind of comparing Krillin, who's like a monk in the show, to like real world monks. Like, real world monks like are constantly in meditation and training, and I have absolutely zero basis on the show to base this off of. This is coming. This is
a bold argument. I'm actually here for it.
So, but if he is a monk, I mean, it means that he's trained his mind as well as his body to the extent to where he should be able to sort of empty his mind and be able to, I think, kind of
gotta go zen, power of nothingness from Street Fighter kind of thing.
Sure, yeah. Like he like maybe we haven't seen him use that ability, but like has he ever needed to use that ability? We don't know he can't do it, right?
Can Krillin go zen?
I mean, Krillin, to be fair, Krillin, like, there's a whole bit of when they're getting all the training from Roshi and stuff, and I know it's Dragon Ball, so you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt, because it was more like a comedy thing before it was like an action thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's like a whole bit where, like, when him and Goku are training, Roshi tells them, like, they won't be able to, like, surpass their limits without keeping a clear mind, and, like, they make a point of, like, that monk state. And so I think there's like a argument for it for sure in there.
So I'll say this. Okay, so I think that what Roshi was talking about was like rudimentary education, because he was like, I need to teach you like basic math skills and like literature, English, or whatever language they were canonically speaking, stuff like that, because you need to keep a sharp mind. In terms of a clear mind, in terms of like Krillin's monk training, so Krillin comes to Roshi's island. He's left his monk training prematurely because he was bullied out of it by those two asshole monks. So it's unclear how deeply Krillin's mind was trained at that point. And we know that he isn't a traditional kind of monk because he is the first person to what's the word I'm looking for? Respond to Roshi's desire for fucked up perverted shit. To the point that I think he like gets Roshi. I think he brings Roshi porn. Like I don't quite remember, but I have like the memory of him like handing Roshi like a nudie magazine.
Yeah.
He also cannot.
Exactly. Yeah.
He also can't ride.
Sounds on brand.
Yeah.
He also can't ride the flying Nimbus. The flying Nimbus is like pure heart. You need that to ride the flying Nimbus. He can't ride it. So I don't know.
He still can't ride it?
He couldn't ride it back in Dragon Ball. I don't think he ever tried after that.
Yeah, I don't think they would need to try anymore, because they're all
right.
Like,
yeah,
the flying Nimbus
this
is kind
has not
of
been relevant
outclassed
since early DBZ.
Yeah, very early.
It wasn't even really relevant in early DBZ. It was really just like a thing that popped up and then completely disappeared, kind of like Launch. Ever you guys remember Launch?
Oh, Launch. Launch was a fun
Launch is my
character.
girl. I miss Launch.
Yeah,
she had a thing for Tien, and then like got drunk when Tien got murdered. that's like the last time she appeared in DBZ until the very end, where they're like all giving Goku their energy.
Yep.
And then they throw those bit characters in. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Oolong! Hey, look, it's Oolong, everybody!
They still exist. They're still alive.
Yeah, I mean, I really want Krillin on this one, but I'm having a hard time finding strong arguments for why he would win. And I think Aquaman only wins because of like scaling to Wonder Woman and shit, which I know he should be able to do. Which is really annoying, because I don't think he's actually like, if you took DC a little bit more seriously, I don't think there's any way he's even close to as fast as Wonder Woman or Superman or the Flash or any of them.
In water, probably, but not on
water,
land.
maybe. Yeah, on land. And I would say, I'm pretty sure if Krillin wanted to, he could just like evaporate all the water around him. I'm sure, like with a solar flare, like that should be able to. I don't know if
maybe not solar flare, because that's not so much heat. That's just light, which I mean that'll give off some degree of heat, but it's never been shown to evaporate water. And he did that on Namek, which is like 50% water from what it looked like in the anime.
Kamehameha though could. He could blast.
He could explode a mountain with it.
I think you could see. I mean, there's plenty of occasions. I'm trying to think back. I think during the Cell Saga, when they're fighting on that island with like semi-perfect Cell, when he's on the second form, and they're blasting a bunch of stuff, and they're hitting the islands. I might be remembering the wrong moment, but they're literally blasting, and you see like waterfalls coming from like the land getting damaged and stuff like that. So like even if it's not that moment directly, like I think the Kamehameha would just, even if it wasn't hot enough to evaporate the water, I think it has enough force to push and throw the water in whatever direction it's kind of going in, right?
I would say it definitely has the energy to like vaporize water. If it can like blow apart mountains, that energy could translate to evaporating water.
I feel like Aquaman would still have stronger
enough.
control over the water, even if Krillin's just blowing it around with Kamehameha or what have you. I think Aquaman still is able to overcome. Like, he's able to. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't he able to like kind of overcome gravity with it? Like, raise pillars of water up? Is that a thing that Aquaman can do?
I know that he can summon like tidal waves with one of his tridents. This is like a New 52 thing. His trident also gives him like magic, like he can fire ice and shit and create like force fields.
Gotcha.
Yeah, some more like kind of like lower, not super big deal stuff, but useful kind of variety.
So I would like to point out that there is, and I found the comic Legends of DC Universe number 27. Younger Aquaman, he's not that young, but him and Batman like get in a fist fight. Just a normal, unadulterated fist fight, and Batman wins. Mm-hmm. So he's also not that fucking strong, right? Like, if Batman can knock you out, you're not like you're not Superman, right? Like, that's never happening with any of the other ones
of the DC universe, because that sounds
fair enough.
That's I don't know the canonicity.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say this: like a bunch of characters have had like different interpretations, and it's comic books. So like, I mean, I there have been times when Batman has like kicked Superman and like knocked him away. So it only gets super consistent. I would say that Aquaman pretty consistently fights with characters like Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter. I'm like looking at a bunch of different examples right here. He drew blood from Martian Manhunter. He tackled Hal Jordan, Parallax Hal Jordan, but I looked at that and it was like, okay, I think he just took him off guard. So I would say that he definitely has super strength. I mean, like, look, like there was a point where this like bad guy dude or whatever was. I remember this from researching for the or helping out research for Aquaman versus Namor. This dude like had a trident that was powerful enough to collapse all of Atlantis, like all 7 kingdoms or whatever it is, that huge landmass. And Aquaman, like, he did it. I think he's like the reason why it like sunk under the ocean originally. I think he was going to do it again, and Aquaman actually like stopped it with his hands.
Yeah.
Like he like
I remember that.
Like,
yeah.
So he definitely has
version
super
of
strength.
His trident.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, super strength. I don't. I think it's time for us to vote because it's that time, and it's time to see what the chat thinks.
Let's do it.
I mean, me first. It's Nick and I, but Nick, do you want to vote first or should I? Because I know mine. I'll just go. Mine's begrudgingly Aquaman. I think I want Krillin to win, but I think Aquaman would actually win. So that's where I'm going with it.
Yeah, by all rights, in my mind, it made more sense for Krillin, but given that I accidentally clicked on Aquaman in the poll just now, I think I'm also going to say Aquaman.
Well, can
we bring it speaks for itself, honestly.
Yeah. Can we bring up those polls, Brian, and see where they're sitting at? I feel like everybody might go.
Whoa.
Okay. 1% Aquaman.
Whoa.
What about Twitter though? Is the
That's
Twitter poll
wild.
Them odds.
I wonder if it's as accurate.
So
okay, so Krillin actually won the Twitter poll.
Yeah. I feel like that tracks.
I
feel like I would be surprised. Yeah. I would be just surprised if more people voted for us.
So at least Krillin got 1 point. I feel bad for the man because he is the best character. I feel like
Dragon Ball is like Naruto, where like all the side characters are like the best. Yeah, better.
Goku's such a lousy character.
No offense against Goku, but like just
he's boring.
He's not super compelling,
there, right?
Yeah, he's cool, and I think he's actually like my favorite like Goku moment is actually in the Buu saga of all things.
All things, huh?
Yeah, like seriously, I actually like the Buu saga kind of because it's so like batshit and like clearly like being written chapter to chapter. So it's like you have no idea what the hell is going on. It's kind of like refreshing. But my favorite Goku moment is this is weird, but it's when he throws the Potara earring to Gohan and Gohan misses it, and then he like bugs out, and then like turns to Super Buu and goes like, time out for just a second. Because it's like, on the face of it, it's like a very un-Goku thing to do. Like, no, Goku's an honorable warrior. But like, I like it because it's like, oh yeah, even Goku, who like very densely at times like looks for honorable fights, like with like Cell and Gohan, he gives Cell a fucking Senzu Bean. Completely insane. Even Goku at this moment like is willing to be like, hell no. We're not playing fucking fair right now. Please give us a timeout. And he like freaks out for a bit. I actually think that gives him like more depth than like most of the rest of the series.
Wasn't almost everybody like dead at that point? Like,
yeah,
basically,
much, yeah.
There was nothing left.
Looking good. Yeah.
I saw. No, go for it, Danny. Go for it.
We got our vote in. So, Danny, please continue your thought. But also, if you have anything you want to tell us about, any projects you've been working on, like, we can start running into them.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna. Liam, you're just a fountain of information, and clearly I was underprepared for this compared to how much knowledge you have.
It is not a positive attribute. If I could flush like 90% of this stuff out of my brain, I absolutely would, because I'm like, yeah, Aquaman is like probably star level. I'm like, fucking stop, please get it out of my brain.
It keeps you up at night. You're literally just like, oh, Aquaman.
Yeah, the most useless trash information ever.
Yeah, it makes watching TV shows a pain in the ass too when you have to think about everything like it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have something you want to say?
So I'm gonna have to tip my hat and say, sir, I'm gonna give it to you, Aquaman. I think Aquaman's gonna take it.
Thank you, sir. Well argued. I would root for Krillin. I would.
You wouldn't
absolutely choose Krillin over Aquaman, because Krillin's the fucking best.
Krillin is the best character in Dragon Ball, in my opinion. Like, I really hope he gets his day.
Future Trunks is my guy. I'm
really
ever since the Android saga. Ever since he was introduced, I think when I was like in 4th grade or something, I was like, oh yeah, this is my guy. This is my guy right here. He's got a sword. He has a cool haircut. Oh, what is that, denim jacket? Let's go.
Yeah.
It's like a crop top denim jacket at that.
Yeah. No real human can wear that jacket, unless I guess you're just insanely ripped and it doesn't matter. But I feel like that jacket is only like a Future Trunks thing. And I feel like they actually did some cool stuff with like dividing his character in like the Goku Black saga and stuff. Like he's much more of just like, hey, you're not just an older Trunks, you're a different Trunks. And he also gets his own, like, I can't remember, they call it something like Super Saiyan Rage or something. He gets his own Super Saiyan form for a minute. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they like give him his moment before. I think he's essentially like that character, like retired now. Because his universe is gone after that, I believe.
Right, like doesn't that kind of like somewhat negate the importance of the Cell saga? Because like, well, the universe was just going to get completely, like, literally deleted anyways.
Yeah,
so it's like,
because what was the point? Zenos in Universe 7 or whatever, because they got
fucking sucks.
Not even that universe, it's that set of universes.
That timeline, that like all 7. Where did Future Trunks go after that? Where is he now?
The scale is so ridiculous. The scale is just so big. It's Dragon Ball. It's like it's gotten so. It used to be like, oh, the world is in danger. Then it's like the galaxy's in danger. The universe is in danger. Oh, your entire timeline is in danger.
Yeah. It's been a hot minute since I've watched Dragon Ball Super. But how did they explain Future Trunks' universe being its own universe and not just the future?
Oh no, it's not. It's Universe 7 on a different timeline, and all the other universes also are different in that timeline as well.
So it's like there's like an infinite number of like timelines. So like if Trunks goes to the future, if Trunks goes to the past, he's going to a different universe or different timeline.
Yeah, different timeline.
So it's the same
universe, different timeline.
Yeah, they're both Universe 7, different versions of Universe 7. So he was never going to, like, grandfather paradox style. He was never going to, like, fix his future, but he was going to try to prevent it from happening in a different timeline. I mean, it's somewhat like, okay, well, if there's infinite timelines, then there's also infinite versions where Cell loses or wins. So it's like, what's one versus that? But he also went back to get...
It's Dragon Ball. You can't think about it too hard.
He also went back to get training and like a device to defeat the androids. That's right. Okay, so he went back to get the device to defeat the androids.
You start pulling those threads, man, and the whole
it all
sweater
falls apart.
There's also it's funny because like if you go to like the Death Battle wikis and stuff, they all have their birth date listed, and then almost every character has multiple death dates listed because they all die and come back and die again, and so it's like everybody has like multiple death dates, which is just funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
You know what's wild? The same company controls half of online retail also passively eavesdrops on all your private conversations. And, there's one company, I bet you can guess who, that controls 90% of internet searches. And those people also probably run your email service, and they track everything you do on your smartphone and the places you go. And the point is that big tech companies have a lot of power and a lot of information about you. I mean, a lot. Way more than you would probably ever think. So it's probably time to take back a little bit of control and protect yourself a bit from that. And one of the best ways I can think of doing that is by using our friends over at ExpressVPN. So think about how much your life is on the internet. Okay, maybe don't think too hard because it is the middle of an ad right now, but follow me. And you should think about is that every site you visit, every video you watch, every message you send gets tracked and data mined. So why not use ExpressVPN and then have none of that happen? And then they don't know where you are, what you're doing, or anything like that. And you have a little bit more peace of mind and privacy back in your life, which is awesome. Because ExpressVPN also encrypts 100% of your internet data to keep you safe from hackers and eavesdroppers and just, big tech companies that want to know what you're up to. So it's a super good service. Highly recommend it because why would you want people to know all this stuff about you? So stop handing over your personal data to big tech monopolies that mine your activity and sell your information. Protect yourself with the VPN I trust and the VPN that we all use at the office if you haven't noticed, ExpressVPN. So visit expressvpn.com/DBC. That's expressvpn.com/DBC. To get 3 extra months free, go to expressvpn.com/DBC. Right now, and you can learn some more about it and why VPN is such a good idea. So go check it out and enjoy. Yeah.
Has any of the main cast not died? Has Oolong died? Did Oolong die?
I do know. I remember this tidbit from when I researched this episode, but Hercule Satan is the only person to have fought both Cell and Majin Buu and not died.
Right.
How bonkers is that tidbit?
I don't think he's ever died.
Fought is a strong word there, I feel like. But yeah.
He did a lot of he gave them everything he had.
Did Gohan die?
Wasn't much.
Gohan's died to Majin Buu.
Yeah. When Kid Buu blew up the planet. I guess Oolong would have died then, or he would have died when Super Buu did the kill everyone on Earth attack, and it wasn't shown.
Yeah, he's died a couple times. I feel like everybody has died. Cheetah died.
Chi-Chi died. Chi-Chi died, get crushed by an egg.
But when did Chi-Chi die?
She got turned into an egg by Buu and then got crushed.
Oh yeah.
I remember being on the playground in 4th or 5th grade and talking to friends about Dragon Ball, and then my friend, his uncle had been getting these VCDs or whatever from Japan, so he knew everything that happens in GT and for the rest of Z. And he was telling me what Majin Buu he turned someone into a cookie and then ate him. I was like, what? It was blew my little 4th grade mind because we didn't see that until years later.
When I was in 5th grade, I had a friend named Justin who he was Japanese, and so he got Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Z, and all that stuff years before we ever would in the States. And I remember him telling me about this villain named Baby. I was like, you're making this up. You're pulling my chain now. They would never. Not in my Dragon Ball. They'd never name a villain named baby. But,
baby, super baby.
Yeah, super baby. Baby.
My introduction to Dragon Ball, the first episode I ever saw was Boo turning Dabura into a cookie and then eating him. And it was so like, to someone that wasn't introduced to it and really wasn't introduced to anime at all, it was so fucking disturbing. I was like, this big pink monster gleefully ate somebody. And then
who looked like
a few weeks later, it looked like the devil. And then a few weeks later, the next episode I watched, I wasn't even trying to, I was just like flipping on the television, was evil gray Boo turning fat pink Boo into a cookie and then eating him. And I was like, Jesus Christ! Even he was turned into a fucking cookie. It turned me off of Dragon Ball for a while, because I was like 6, but I was like, oh my fucking god, this is horrible. So yeah, it was so my introduction to Dragon Ball. Yeah, I was like disgusted, like in the inside. I was like, I don't want to get turned into a fucking cookie.
I always wondered if like Akira Toriyama was just on like a really strict diet during the whole Boo saga, and that was like it was all coming out in the writing, because like there's so much like skinny, fat eating, like all of it is So
I have a question.
Boo saga is a weird saga, man.
It's completely bizarre. I have a soft spot for it. But it's fucking weird. I have a question for you guys. If we're talking about Dragon Ball, something I've always wondered: Super or GT? Which is better?
I've not seen enough of GT to give a fair vote to that one. But Super's fun. Super's okay. I think I would probably say Super. Because one of the few things I know about GT is the Para brothers. And I think that's all I need to know about it for the most part.
Don't want to...
Super all day.
Super all day. Okay.
GT just became the Goku show. And like, don't get me wrong, like Goku's the main character. I expect him to be there, but like, it felt like every single problem was like, okay, solved by Goku. It's just like,
all the other
Goku powers up, blows up the enemy, and then that's
ultimately
it. Right.
Yeah. Isn't that ultimately what Z can be summarized as too? Goku finishes it, except for Cell. Cell was the only time when somebody other than Goku actually put the final nail in the coffin. But I think every other time it's been like, these other people maybe loosened up the pickle jar a little bit for him, but ultimately Goku's the one who finishes it off.
Yes, totally. But the side characters in Z were very prominent in the story and always made a big impact. Gohan has his own arc. I mean, Future Trunks already talked about how massive of a character he was. It felt like there was a lot more teamwork going on, and it felt like GT was mostly Goku, and then obviously there was Pan, and then there was Trunks, but like, I mean,
and there wasn't like a lot of like
all of GT, like
there wasn't like a lot of like personal stakes in relation to like Omega Shenron is just a big evil guy gonna blow stuff up. There isn't like this like personal like. There's no like character. There's no character conflict between Goku and Shenron and Omega Shenron, other than Omega Shenron wants to blow up the planet and Goku doesn't want him to do that. Like that's acceptable, but it's not interesting. It's just a fucking punch fest. And the same thing with like Super Android 17, and like kind of not with Baby. Baby I think is my favorite, because I also like really like his like Baby Vegeta design, like with the yellow. He's like a lot of fun to play in fighters. That's about it. I like a lot of the designs in GT, but and I like the 90s animation. It's just cool. But there's like it's just there's no like character reason why these characters are fighting. Like, and that's not where Dragon Ball Z like super excels either. But like I'd say that there's a much more personal relationship between or much more interesting kind of character conflict between like Frieza and Goku, or Cell and Gohan. Not really with Boo. Boo, I think, falls into the former category. Yeah, it's just two guys fighting over like one wants to be evil and one doesn't want to be evil. So like, what's the point?
I also feel like the Baby arc kind of felt to me like it kind of undid, because like I think the best part about the Buu saga for me was Vegeta really had a tangible arc. I mean, being able to watch him go from like, okay, to go ahead and take me over, and then like, you know, the moment where he sacrifices himself to defeat Buu, and then at that moment at the very end when he's looking at Super Saiyan 3 Goku fight Kid Buu, and he's like, I really have come to terms with the fact that you are stronger than me. It felt like the Baby Saga, for me, from what I can remember from it, felt like it kind of undid that growth a little bit. I mean, it's not just like it feeling a bit redundant, like
it's as if Majin Vegeta had like worked. So. It's like if Babadi's mind control had worked on Vegeta,
right?
Mm-hmm. Like, and it removes Vegeta from the story because he's no longer a character, because it's just his body is being inhabited by a different character, so it kind of doesn't make use of him that way.
I feel like the final explosion thing where Vegeta kills himself to try and kill Buu, and it's literally pointless, is like one of the worst things they could have done for that story. Like, if
you don't like that moment,
like. No, because it literally makes everything Vegeta does pointless. It just takes away his entire character, pretty much. They're just
the moment itself is great. It's just
the moment is great.
The immediate aftermath of it, is
if it was
wasted.
Well, you go.
If it was successful, and then some other like I almost wish it was successful and killed Buu, but then the blast had some other caused effect they didn't anticipate, and the gang had to rally to like stop that. I think that just would have been better. Like if it did, but it's literally just Vegeta kills himself and achieves nothing is what happens. Like the moment is great, is very fucking cool.
From a character
The
perspective.
next episode when Boo's just like, "Hi, I'm back together." It didn't matter. Like it just feels terrible. You're just like, "Wow, poor Vegeta, man. That should have done something."
I think that's kind of cool, and let me explain why I think that way. I think it's fine for Vegeta, his sacrifice, to be unsuccessful, because the real like conflict there is the growth that Vegeta has. The important moment is not necessarily killing Buu, but Vegeta being willing to sacrifice himself to save everyone. So it kind of, to me, it doesn't really matter if it was an unsuccessful thing. It almost feels like the unsuccessfulness of it is inevitable, but I think it's important that Vegeta was willing to do it in the first place.
I think I mostly agree. It's just the one thing is, it's just another case of you can't give this one to Vegeta. Like it's not nearly as egregious as the Resurrection F arc in Super. That was fucking some BS. Vegeta got robbed hard, but
that one actually felt like deliberately aggressive towards Vegeta. Like his character for some reason.
It's almost like they didn't want Vegeta to be as popular as he became, and so it's like, well, let's just show you he's always going to be second string. He's always going to be the number two. Yeah, but he's always going to be butthurt about being number two. Yeah, I think the moment where he blows himself up, I understand. I understand where you're coming from on that, Sam, because I feel like it does contribute. I think that moment was amazing. It was one of my favorite moments in that entire saga, especially like him taking out Trunks and sort of the father-son moment they had there. But like, it definitely contributes to the idea that the Buu saga was just way too long. It was way too long. The whole thing could have been more interesting if you just condensed it down a little bit, make it a little smaller, tighten it up a bit, tighten it up.
Wasn't, in terms of episode count in the original Dragon Ball Z run, wasn't the Buu saga about half the length of all of Z, if I'm remembering correctly?
Jesus Christ, really?
Dragon Ball Z Kai.
That's how I remember it. I want to double check that, but
I remember when they re-released Dragon Ball Z Kai. They released it in two different sets. I think it was like I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure it was Saiyan through Cell, and then Buu was its own thing. Because Buu was just so long.
It doesn't even feel like that much happens in the Buu saga. Like it takes place over like a day or like a week or something.
Yeah, I mean, a lot happens, but nothing
happens,
right?
Yeah.
Everything
Nothing
just gets
matters.
like at the end of it. That's like one of the worst things with Dragon Ball is like when they're just like, oh, everything's ruined. Let's not deal with the consequences. We'll just use the Dragon Balls, and you're like, okay, cool. So we're back to square one. Nobody died. Nothing happened. Okay,
cool.
So when I say the Buu Saga, I know the Dragon Ball Wiki gets more specific with this, like Kid Buu Saga, World Tournament Saga. I'm considering everything from World Tournament Saga on to the end.
I consider it like time skip, like after the time skip with like a teen Gohan or like adult Gohan or whatever.
Yeah, that is. It looks like maybe it's closer to like 87 episodes. Because episode 200, I think, is where I'm trying to skim over this wiki, so I might be getting some information wrong. But I think episode 200 is where the World Tournament Saga starts, and then episode 287 is the final one of Z. It looks like so about 87 episodes. It's still a really long freaking time.
Yeah.
How many episodes are all of Z?
It looks like 287. This is for Z, not Kai, but
right.
It looks like 287.
I mean, that's still like a third. That's like
a
third
to beat one guy who becomes like multiple guys.
But we are running up on time, and I really do want to make sure that Danny, if you have any projects you're working on, anything you're excited about, if you can, I know a lot of times we have projects that are under NDA and we can't talk about, but you want to make sure you have a moment to talk about anything you're excited about that's coming up or anything like that.
Yeah, thank you. I'll keep it super brief. We are, I mean, it's been super slow, but things have been popping off back like crazy. We're working on a couple of cool little things. They're going to probably be out within the next month, some of it. And then we're also, we worked on some cool projects with another creator, Atomic Mari Takahashi, and we're actually working on another short film with her right now. It's currently in development. If you want to watch the last one that we did, you can go to either our channel, youtube.com/Ismahawk, and you can watch it on there. It's called Coyote Sunset, or you can watch it on Mari's YouTube channel, which is, I believe, youtube.com/Atomic Mari. So we're doing another collab, and it's I can't give away too much just yet, but it's like live action anime, and there's a lot of VFX, and it's taken a long time. So hopefully we'll have that out within the next few months. So yeah, check out our YouTube channel. That's where you can kind of find all the new stuff that we've been working on.
Awesome, dope. And I will make sure in YouTube descriptions there's a link below. I will make sure of that. Yeah.
Thank you.
But besides that, I mean, we got a couple of minutes left. Danny, I want to hear how do you're the director now for DBZ Super's next season. How do you make Krillin the character we all want?
How do we make Krillin the character that we all want to root for? Well, first, we're going to have to show Krillin lose really bad. We need to really show the power dynamic and show that Krillin is truly the weakest above, like below the rest. But something happens that takes out pretty much everyone else, and the only one who can save the day is Krillin, but he doesn't know he can do it. So he's literally got his back up against the wall. His Android 18 and even his daughter, like let's take him off the board. Something happened to him. If Krillin fails, like they'll die. And so the stakes are super high because now the Dragon Balls have been eradicated and he can't wish anybody back. So now it's up to Krillin to go and fight whoever this super powerful Frieza strength level enemy is, and he has to use his wits and his charm and his sort of lovable gooberness to save the day, and has to overcome the sort of fear and cowardice that he feels in those moments. And the Destructo Disc, we power scale that back up.
It cuts off the villain's tail again.
It cuts Beerus in half.
That's my like super fast like little story arc for Krillin being the hero.
Yeah. I got a little addendum. He realizes at a certain point that he can't do it alone. So he explores the world over, can't find anybody. He gets an idea. He's been to space before, but he's never been to the bottom of the ocean. That's when he finds the Atlanteans and enlists the help of one Aquaman.
Okay.
Krillin, Aquaman, buddy cop type of thing, saving the world together.
Oh, shit.
Bestest pals.
Sure, I'm in. I'm in. I do think that would be a pretty. All you really need is like just like Corona for Saiyans shows up, and then literally it is just Krillin and Piccolo at that point. Like if you have a virus that only affects Saiyans, like Earth is defenseless. Like you are down to Krillin and Piccolo are your two best shots if that happens.
Yeah,
and that's all you got. So
you got a lot of hope with Piccolo. Piccolo's
Piccolo's been keeping up.
He's the man, dude. He's the guy.
He's the smartest one there, probably.
Mm-hmm. He's the only one who can keep up with the Saiyans.
Yeah. I love Piccolo.
I feel like the manga right now is like it's looking like it's giving Vegeta his moment, and I hope they adapt that. But after that, I really do feel like they need to give other characters their moment because Goku's had enough time in the limelight.
Have fights where it isn't won by like whoever has the biggest number. Like have them be clever about it. You know, have them play some mind games.
There's a good bit of that in the tournament saga, especially with Krillin being like smart. So but anyways, that's our show. We gotta get going. Let the next people go. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned for some more RTTV, and also if you're on YouTube, go click some of these other videos. Yeah, bye now. Oh, and check out Danny at Ismahawk YouTube. His stuff is very, very awesome and wonderful, and he's helped us do a lot of cool stuff. And hopefully, we get to do some more cool stuff soon in the future.
I hope so too. Thanks, guys.
See you guys.